so I can jump on
Okay.
camera.
Okay, perfect.
There
Yeah,
you go.
so I'm going to share a funny story too. Something that Natalia and I have been talking about behind the scenes regarding just my business and where I'm at in my little crossroad. So last week sometime, a woman who I know from working with years ago, she had connected me to this woman that literally works down the block from my store. She has her own little space literally down the block from my store. We had a conversation today, and she opened up her shop right in the middle of the pandemic. Like she was literally putting up her welcome sign, I'm open. And she just recently had her 1 year anniversary, and she's having a workshop in 2 weeks. And my friend that introduced the two of us together. In my head, I'm like, okay, so what was the reason why my friend introduced me to her? Because I mean, theoretically, we do pretty much the same thing, minusing the training. And all I heard from the universe was, I'm showing you that people can strive in the pandemic. And here you are, your mindset is, well, there's a pandemic and business is slow and I'm not getting the clientele. So because I'm putting that energy out there, guess what I'm doing to myself? I'm sabotaging. So all these little things, and I was sharing with Nate last week that my sister had participated in this boot camp group. And in the group is usually 20 people, but they had 8. Now, for me, 8 people in my space would be a really great number. But I said to myself, I said, well, if they can get 8 people in their space, then what the heck am I doing that's not getting this people? And it's the mindset. The mindset. So it's really what we do tell ourselves that is either going to make something happen for us or stop something from happening for us. And just as Irene just shared with us, she put out to the universe that she needed a sign that this was the right thing for her to do. So she didn't want to feel, the word I'm going to put in Irene's mouth. Sorry. She didn't want to feel guilty of having to walk away from this particular service. But the universe helped her with this opportunity of the parents saying to her, well, as of this date, my daughter's going to be doing this, so we no longer need you. So it made it easier for Irene to be like, oh, this is awesome. So see how well the universe really listens to us, and also how the universe sends us messages, and hopefully we're paying attention to the message. So before now that I shared my story, Irene shared hers. Let's introduce Nate. And I always say his name wrong. So Nate, please tell him how you say your name.
It cracks me up. I've heard it a million different ways. You know what? It's all good. I've had people who've known me for years still mispronounce it. So whatever. It's not a big deal. But it's pronounced Natan, right?
Natan.
So if you think if you take out like Nathan without the H, right? You just drop the H. Oh, that's it. All right. So but anyways, yeah, so I'm really happy to be here. Really appreciate being a part of this. Yeah, this is really, really fantastic. My background, for those who don't know me, done so many things. Yeah, I know, right? I like to say I started at the beginning, right? So I graduated high school, went right into the military, right? So I was in the military for just shy of 8 years. After I got out, I went into IT. I worked in IT for a while. Along the way, I got several degrees. So I got my bachelor's in cybersecurity, had a couple kids, got married, got divorced, had a couple kids. I got my several master's degrees in really religious areas, right? So I did intensive studies into Jewish history, into the history of the Near East, mythology and religion and psychology, and just, how all those areas really tie into each other. So I did that. And from that, just kind of over the years, ad hoc coaching, right? So people would come to me. I'm an empath, right? So people are naturally drawn to me to whatever's going on, right? So generally, people would come to me, hey, I'm struggling in this area, I'm struggling in that area, and I'd help them, kind of help them work through it. And that kind of turned into formal coaching a couple of years ago. I founded the Mystic Warrior Academy, which was really a long-term vision to help facilitate people's growth. So I did that. I also founded a nonprofit on the veteran side to help veterans struggling with PTSD and suicide. Hosted a podcast, did that. Helped develop an app for suicide prevention. And that kind of brings me to where I am today, launching a new coaching program, leadership through self-mastery. So I'm doing that. And I'm also working my day job as a cybersecurity auditor. So very, very wide, very broad background that basically I just use to help people.
Excellent, excellent. And, and as usual, before we came on today, Natalia and I always chat during the course of the week. We do chat, we brainstorm, and every time we're in a conversation, midway we say, oh, we really should have been recording our conversations, because they always lead into something that's really important. And of course, I reached out to him and I asked him in regards to like, what do we want to talk about and discuss in today's topic? But before we dive into today's topic, what I like to do is just go around the room. We'll start with Lisa in reference to the goals that we set for ourselves from last week. How do we do with them? So Lisa, for you, what you set for yourself, how'd you do this week, last week into this week?
Okay, I said that I was going to get 5 new referrals for the week, and that I was going to do 2 lives. Well, I got 8 new referrals, but I didn't do the lives.
Okay.
Some things happened this week and I got a little derailed, but I'm still getting the referrals. And in fact, I have people to follow up with after this, which is very nice.
Excellent. So what I want to point out for you, although I'm sure you're aware, you said you wanted 5 referrals, you got 8.
Mm-hmm.
So let's focus on the fact that you got 3 more referrals than you expected to get. And let's not focus on the fact that you didn't do your lives. Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, because ideally, one of the most important things to staying on track with our purpose is recognizing what we did do, as opposed to falling into, oh, I didn't get to do what I said I was going to do. But recognize what you did. And you did. You got 3 additional referrals. So that's a plus. So congratulations.
Thank you.
He's got a nice big cat. Irene, for you, how'd you do this week from your goal from last week?
I did pretty good. Sorry about my cat. One of them always makes an appearance in whatever meeting.
It's okay.
I have 2 black cats, so they're all about like the spiritual stuff. So whenever I'm doing something, they come on in.
Of course.
One of them. I did pretty well. I said 2 lives, get more information about real estate and my 2 weeks notice. Well, I told you about 2 weeks notice. I've been posting every single day. I did 1 live and I have another live scheduled for tonight. And I was already feeling iffy about doing it, but I have to do it because I said I was going to do it. And then I feel guilty that I let you guys down. It's a weird, mind fuck. I'm learning how to trick myself into doing things that I'm uncomfortable doing. Because this live is talking about myself and introducing myself. I haven't done that in my, for I think since last summer, I haven't done that. And that's why I'm uncomfortable doing it, because I'm uncomfortable talking about myself and all the things that I've done and have and do. And after
that comes with practice, by the way.
What?
I said that comes with practice, lots and lots of practice. A couple of years ago, I was in your same position where I was very, very uncomfortable talking about myself. But the more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it gets.
Yeah. It's hard because I've gotten, as a woman of color, and as like a single mom, when I've said certain things, people are like, oh my God, how'd you do that? You know, like, what about your kids? Like, get it fine, you know? So I have to deal with a lot of like,
Mhm.
I
And
guess
what
societal backlash that has to just get used to it, you know?
Yeah. What I would like you to do, Irene, obviously not here, but on your own, I'd like you to reflect on at what point in your life, probably in your younger years, did you experience a time where you did something or didn't do something and someone made you feel guilty about it? Because that's where that guilt stems from. And when you can
Oh, girl, all the
connect-
time. I was just thinking about that this morning, from uh, a Leo woman. And I was like, why do I always have issues with Aries women and Leo women? And that's where it stems from. Like,
other than the
got-
fact that they're both fire energy.
and I'm a Leo moon.
That
Yeah,
too.
and I'm a Leo moon. So it's
Yes,
it's a whole
yes,
lot of
yes,
unnecessary
exactly.
pride.
Excellent.
And I did the research on real estate. I sent Nick like a whole series of questions and he answered all of them for me. I also did some research and I reached out to an old high school friend of mine who's a very accomplished real estate agent. And I was on the phone with him last night for an hour and a half. And he was just like, he gave me the whole rundown of the life of a real estate agent and what I need to do. That was really interesting, you know. So today I just took it as a quiet day just to figure out my next steps because I'm whatever.
Excellent, excellent. And Natate, how about you? I know you weren't here for the actual meeting, but you and I have chatted about it. So
Right.
talk
Yeah.
to us about what you've done.
Yeah, I mean, as you reminded me, right? I'm right on track. So, last week really was the first time I really showed up on social media in a big way, right? Like I've kind of posted here and there, but for the most part, I've just been quiet with a lot of self-work and a lot of things that were going on, different challenges I was facing. And really like this last week I've kind of opened up to some of those challenges and some of the things I went through and right and just working through them. So as far as staying on track with my goals, like last week 100%. This week I think I've done really well. Same thing, just continue showing up and showing up in a big way, right? On social media. And it's funny, the last week when I set my goals, like I've smashed through those and now I've set completely new goals, right? Coming into the next week that I've already exceeding, right? So I'm going through this process. I'm learning that as I set goals, it's important not just to set the goal, but the objective, right? So the goal is what I want to achieve and the objective is how I'm going to get there. So I went through that exercise myself and said, okay, this is the goal I want to achieve. This is what I'm going to do to get there. And I find myself as I do that, like I'm smashing through like the goals and then setting new goals. So that's really been a fantastic exercise for me.
Excellent. And I love that because again, sometimes what we end up doing is we set goals and we think that, okay, once we accomplish the goal, when is the next time to set another goal? And I'm loving the fact that you're pointing out that you set the goal, you're smashing through it, and then you're setting another goal. So that's really something important because it's not one of those things where we have to wait for the let's say the week or the months to end to start the next goal. As soon as the first goal has been accomplished, dive right into the next goal and then dive right into the next. And before you know it, you've accomplished everything you're looking to accomplish. So I love that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure,
Yes.
for sure.
And for me, let's see, I think I said something about that I wanted to connect with three new potential clients and didn't really do that. I did connect with one potential, but what I did do, which I was not doing, is I got back on track with promoting the different services that I offer, my on-site services. So it's not just about my remote services, it's about getting people into my location. So I have my my Reiki circle that's coming back in as of as of March 24th. I have a Reiki circle coming in. and doing a few other things that's bringing the people in. So I just have to get those flyers out where I can display it outside my store for the community to start seeing. And also recognizing a message that I heard this morning is not to only rely on my current clientele, because if I'm just picking for my current clientele, reality of it all is, unless of course it's referrals from my current clientele, I need to remind myself that there's people outside of my current clientele, and I need to put that energy out there. So this way I can attract those new clients. So that was a big message that I got today. So, so it sounds like all of us are on track doing what we are setting our goals out to do for last week. So for this week, where did my notes go? As Natasha and I were talking about a topic for this week, which I don't know, I don't know, Natasha, you tell me, does it seem relevant in reference, like in regards to breaking through, helping, breaking free from where we're stuck? Does that still seem relevant? Is it relevant? Do any of us feel stuck in where we are?
I mean, I don't feel stuck. I let everyone else speak, but
I feel, I think last week I felt stuck. This week I don't feel stuck. I'm just, I feel like I don't know what direction to take or how to take it. And there's some fear around that. You know, like what I shared last week.
okay.
There's definitely some fear of, you know, fear of failure, fear of not being able to provide for my kids. You know, the regular everyday stuff that, yeah, we have all these big ideas, but we still need to get shit done, you know, and make sure things are, you know, I have money from a Metro card. I have like food on the table, you know, things like that. So.
If it wasn't for fear, if fear didn't show up for you, what else, what would you like it to be instead of fear?
I guess the opposite of fear is courage.
Okay. So can you connect with yourself and see yourself as having courage to step into whatever the next step is for you?
Yeah, I can work on that.
Okay.
You got my planner for next week. That'll be my word.
You know, in fact, what I'm hearing is, even as you spoke to the universe about your previous job, ask the universe to start showing you how to be courageous. And theoretically, I think the universe is already showing you that based on some of the things you feel fearful of. Because theoretically, when we are in fear of something, the best way of being courageous about it is stepping into that fear. And just knowing that you are providing for your children. And you have food on the table, food in the refrigerator. So you are doing what you need to be doing. And recognizing that, you know, your kids are not starving, your kids are not naked, your kids are healthy, you're healthy, and recognize that, you know, and keep that as your reminder, as your reflection that they are healthy. It's like you were saying before, you know, when you go live, you start to hear different people talk about, well, what about your kids? And it's like, my kids are fine. In fact, my kids are better than fine. And your kids are better than fine. Your kids are awesome. I mean, I get to see them. They're awesome. And you have to remind yourself of that sometimes, that your kids are awesome. As opposed to thinking like, well, if I really step into this purpose, are they going to suffer? No, they're not going to suffer. They're going to be perfect. They're going to be empowered. They're going to see a mom that is empowered, and they're going to be empowered by that mom because of what you're doing. So I want you to keep that in mind. Make sense?
Yeah.
Something else that was kind of coming up for me too, in regards to what you were saying, is there, I think with any new venture, right, with anything that you're stepping into, there's always that fear, the fear of the unknown. It's okay, what if it doesn't work out? Or, you know, what if I fail? Or, you know, all these what ifs. One thing that helps me is to turn that fear into excitement, right? So it's very interesting. I learned years ago that anxiety and excitement, they're the same sensation, right? It's the same thing. It's just, they're two different emotions, but your body feels it the same. So if you can turn that anxiety into excitement and start saying to yourself, I'm excited about this, right? that'll help shift your mindset into and away from fear and into you're stepping into the unknown, but you're looking forward to it.
Love that. Love
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
Yes. And Lisa, how about you? Do you feel stuck?
Um, I don't really know what I feel. I mean, I think, piggybacking on what Irene said, I have a lot of fear. I got a nice wake up call this week. So I have some decisions to make.
Do you
And,
want to
I
share
was-
do you want to share your wake up call? I mean, I know what it is, but would you like to share it or you want to keep that to yourself? Your choice.
no, I can share it. I got into a car accident on Wednesday, as I was traveling from patient to patient. And this is the second time in 2 years. I've been working for the same company for 8 years now. We've changed owners, 3 times during this, but this is my 9 to 5 job that I want to leave. I'm just afraid to, and when I posted, Joanne says to me, she says, now, are you listening? The universe is telling you to stop and pay attention. And then it was funny because I was talking with my son last night. He's in the military, and I was telling him everything because he doesn't have Facebook, so he didn't know that I got into a car accident. And he says, Mom, he says, just he goes, take that leap. He goes, you don't have us to worry about anymore. He goes, just yourself. He goes, what are you waiting for? Just take that leap. But again, I think it's fear that, it just holds me back. And I get what Tana's saying with the excitement. I mean, I use that a lot of times, because I'm usually very introverted. So, even in my career, I've had to be extroverted. So I've used meeting new people instead of being nervous, being excited, and looking at it as an adventure. And that usually gets me through my spiel, and makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So that's where I'm at. So I don't really know what I guess I am stuck because I'm afraid to take that leap.
But Todd, do you have any suggestions for Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, again, very similar to Irene, right? Like, okay, definitely understanding the fear aspect. And one thing that I've been advised, so I've been on the other side of this. A few years ago, I had my own cybersecurity business, not in my purpose, but it was something I did really at the time because I was out of work. So I'm like, okay, well, I've got these skills. Let me take this and translate this and turn this into a business. So I did, and it took me a couple of years to build it up, but ultimately it came crashing down, right? It just didn't work out, or I filed for bankruptcy, and like it was a mess, right? So based on that, I now have this fear of, well, I'm working in my day job. I'm not going to let go of that. Like, that's stability for me. That's security. I know that's paying, the majority of my bills, right? Like, I know that. So a couple of years ago, I had this coach I was working with, and she said, well, you don't have to quit your day job, right? You don't have to do that to continue to do your purpose. What you can do is, okay, this pays the bills, but also at the same token, keep working on your purpose, right? And so, my advice there is, you don't necessarily have to go and quit what you're doing now, as long as you're taking those steps, as long as you're taking that action to really fill your soul, right? And once you get to a point where you feel confident enough and secure enough in what you're doing to fill your soul and feed your belly, right? Let's be honest, because that's right. That's where that comes from. So once you get to that point, then you can say, okay, you know what? I'm ready to let go of that day job. I'm ready to let go of that security and that stability, because I am secure and stable in my purpose, right? And I think that can take time, right? Okay, so maybe it's a month, maybe it's 6 months, whatever the length of time is. You don't necessarily have to squeeze that into a box, but at the same time you're working your day job, don't be afraid to step into what feeds your soul, right? And so that's really what my suggestion there, where my advice is definitely make that leap. But at the same token, if you don't absolutely hate your job, if it's not something that's crushing your soul.
I'm glad you're saying that, because in my head, as you're saying what you're saying, not to interrupt you, I was gonna say, I'm gonna totally disagree with what Nate is saying right now. And we're gonna do that with each other. We're gonna agree to disagree and still like each other, because just
All
as
the
you're
time.
saying, as long you can maintain the day job that feeds your belly, but as long as it's not squashing your spirit. The minute
Bingo.
your day job is squashing your spirit is the minute it's no longer feeding your soul.
Right.
And
Right.
when it squashes your spirit, it means you no longer have the energy to step into your soul's purpose when you're not working your day job.
Bingo.
And
Right. That's
really
exactly
important
it.
to pay attention to. And I think that's where Lisa is with her job, just her and I working side to side with each other. That's where Lisa is that it has squashed her spirit. And when we're in that
Right.
space, which again, sometimes we need people like ourselves to point it out to the person. What you're doing doesn't fill you up anymore. It's literally causing you to feel tired. And when you feel tired, the concept of feeling tired, when we are just physically tired, we can go and take a nap. But when we are spiritually tired, there's no amount of sleep that's gonna help us rest until we actually step out of the thing that's causing our spirit to be tired. And that's something we definitely want to pay attention to in that energy. Now we have about 10 minutes left to our call. So what I like to do now is I like to tap into our accountability of what we're going to plan to do for this coming week. And if we still have time after we all set that into action, then we can continue our conversation where we left off. So, Nate, for you, what action would you like to take this week?
I was gonna go last. I was gonna say ladies first here, but
well, I figured you're the only man here, so let's take the masculine energy and put you out there.
all right, yeah, all right, especially, yeah, let's take some action, right? So okay, so for me, this coming week, it's a bunch of different things. It's continuing to show up on social media on a daily basis, expanding my reach to LinkedIn, right? So I'm gonna start that on Monday. I'm working on an ambassador program. As I continue that, I need to get all my ambassadors together, my team, and put them together. All the graphics, the content, the posts, and get that out to everyone who's part of that team. So really, the goals for this coming week are show up on social media, finish building out my ambassador team and providing them with all the information to be successful. And then from there, continue my program reach outs, right? So that's the other piece to it,
Awesome.
program reach outs. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
And what I would like to see from you more of, because I don't get to see it much, and you might be doing it, but I'm just not seeing it. I like to actually see you do more lives. Like I see your content, but I like at least 2 lives a week where you actually get out there on your social media page, and whether you want to do it on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you want to do it, 2 lives a week to let people see your face. Because that's really important when it comes to building your tribe. People need to see your face and to feel your energy. So if you can do at least 2, that would be great. And 2 a week, and you can start off with 1 and eventually build it up to 2. Does that work for you?
I definitely have to consider that. One of the biggest things for me are time constraints, right? Because I still have that day job. So it's a lot easier for me to take 30 minutes or whatever to develop and put together a post than it is to, okay, let me go live with whatever's on my mind. So
do a 5-minute live.
And
I'll definitely give it some thought and
actually,
consideration.
when you go live later in the day, it shows that there's more people on who will see it and also watch the replay.
Oh,
So
interesting.
even if you're doing 5 minutes, like post 8 o'clock, there's a lot of people watching lives.
Mm,
Even if they'll just watch for like a minute or two and then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I'm winding down.
Okay.
That was my big thing. I was like, all right, I have my day job or whatever. But when I was doing the research, and I even took a TikTok class because I was very resistant to that platform. Later in the day, it's best.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'll be looking for that from you, Nate. At least 5 minutes, and you can start with one a week. Okay, it doesn't have
Alright.
to be more than 5 minutes. Get what you want to say out, let them see you, and move on.
Yeah, save it as a post, and people could watch the replay.
Yes,
Mhm.
excellent. And with that being said, Irene, what's your accountability for this week?
I'm challenging myself to do 3 lives this week because I figure if I have the time, I might as well do it. And I think Natan said he's like he wants to show up in a big way, and that resonated with me. So I was like, I want to show up in a big way for my business, to take my business to the next level, whatever that might be. So 3 lives, and I want to relaunch my doTERRA business. So I want
Nice.
to call 10 of my existing customers. I
Excellent,
hate phone calls. So this is a really big,
excellent,
It's a
excellent.
big one for you.
All right,
If you, I'm a huge supporter and believer in essential oils. I use them myself. So if you need any additional ammo there, hit me up.
cool. I will. Thank you. Thank you.
excellent. And Lisa, for you?
Yes, I'm going to, continue with the referrals because referrals is business, future business. I'm going to amp it up to 10. But out of those referrals, I want 5 facial classes, consisting of more than just one person. I've been doing a lot of one-on-ones. I would love to have, 5 facials with at least 3 people in them. So I'm going big this week.
All right,
10 referrals and 5 facial classes with possibly 15 people in them.
excellent. Well, as they say in the Chinese New Year, this is the year to go big or go home. In Tiger,
Yes.
with the Tiger energy. So we're gonna hold that light for you. And for me, my goal is, which I actually started this week, which includes my lives, is focusing on showing how I am a personal trainer. In addition to how I apply personal training and astrology into the work. So more people can understand how astrology really aligns with our energy through our workout. So that's my goal. And my if I can set that live when I do all of my workouts, but I do about 6 workouts a week. I can't promise all 6 of those workouts will be live, but I'm going to aim for at least 3 of them this week. So that's my mission for this week to fulfill. So we have about a little less than 3 minutes to go here.
Hey,
Is there
Joanne,
any-
I just have an
yes.
idea. Have you thought about maybe offering like a free 30-minute class on Zoom where you invite people and put that Zoom live? So you could show and model what you do.
Oh, in reference to the training?
Mhm.
Yes, I have, but I have not done. But yes, good idea. We'll definitely implement that. Definitely to bring them on, and then show that.
Like, hey, I'm looking for 3 people to just model a class with me for 30 minutes on Friday, 8 o'clock, whatever. It could be like your sisters. Nobody has to know.
Yeah, if I can
just-
get my sisters on live with me, I'd be shocked.
I'll do it with you.
I'd probably fall on the floor. So I may recruit the 3 of you to come help me.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Excellent, excellent.
I'll
Yes.
do it.
There we go. Look at that. Nate, I didn't hear you say I do it. What
Oh,
happened?
yeah. Other commitments.
I'm teasing. I know. I have to just bug on you.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Any final words?
No, this is awesome. Oh, actually, the third thing I wanted to do was, speaking of fitness, when I get busy, I tend to put my self-care way back in the burner. So I commit to at least doing yoga 3 times this week.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent,
So,
excellent.
A
Very
little
good.
self-care in
Yes,
there.
yes. And remembering that today is Venus Day because it's ruled by Fridays. So it's a great day to indulge in some self-love, whatever that
I'm getting
looks
my hair
like for
cut today.
you. What's that?
Cut my hair today.
Are you cutting it short or just cutting it a little bit?
I'm cutting like 10 inches off.
What does 10 inches look like from your
This
hair?
is my hair. So
Yes,
10
I
inches
know.
is
So
like
10.
that much probably.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Wow.
Okay.
That's, yeah. They say that when a woman cuts her hair, that woman isn't on a mission. That's what they
I
say
really
about
want
hair
to save
cutting.
I really want to go like low, but spiritually I can't do that. So. you know.
Yeah. And I'm doing everything I can to get mine to grow back. So yes. So we have just less than a minute. So with all that being said, enjoy this weekend and enjoy doing the work that you need to do for this week. We'll be back here next Friday. Enjoy it. Have fun.
Thank you.
bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.